Woo! Welcome to Mundo Madness Monday. How you guys doing? Jesse, what up, my friend?
What up? Made it just in time.
Yeah, no, you're fine, dude. I had a little difficult technical difficulties with my earbuds. So I gotta find out what's going on with that later. But the show must go on. So let's get this thing going. Let's get the shindig started. How y'all doing tonight anyway?
Good.
Awesome.
Fantastic, baby.
I'm sipping some tequila especial.
Nice.
Jose Cuerda especial, man. So I got my drink in hand, got a regular drink here, and let's pate. So yeah, no man. What up, Jim? Jim's in the house. Um, so I've got a list here, guys, of some of the fonts that I went through and listened this afternoon while I was at work when I was on break and stuff. And so we're gonna go through some of your fonts. I probably did about 7 from each of you guys, and we're gonna go through them just briefly. But at the same time, we've got. I want to ask you guys, like BK, Juan, and Jesse. You know how before you guys got started doing the fonts, what actually brought you to do fonts?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
All right. So I did music, recording, and stuff like that, producing. So I already had the upper hand when it came to like audio programs and stuff like that. But I think Force Awakens obviously got me back into Star Wars. And I think when Last Jedi came out in theaters, that's when I was like, all right, I need a lightsaber. And I got one. I got a Graphics 2.0 kit, and I had somebody install it. And then all of a sudden, Smooth Swing came out, and I didn't have a Smooth Swing saber, obviously, and I really wanted one. So I sent it to somebody else and had them reinstall it. And in that time, it was before I had the Smooth Swing saber, so I had it for like a couple months. And I bought fonts for it on like Saber Font. And when I found out, oh, this is just WAV files, like I deal with this shit all the time, I was like, all right, let me take a crack at it. And it seemed like it'd be fun to do. So kind of the gist of it.
You fell in love with it, huh?
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think my story is kind of the same boat as you, Jesse. It's like I've been doing like music, recording, mixing, mastering for almost 20 years now. And then when I finally got into the saber hobby, like you said, once you realize you just WAV files, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yep.
And yeah, it just snowballed from there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me was I come from filmmaking background, so pretty much I just like lightsabers. So back in 2010, I bought from FX Sabers, a Master
Way before
Yoda
my time.
graphics. Yeah, and really back then there was just like Nova Star and Mad Cow, and but like honestly, I talked to them later and I said, well, they had like one graphics font and that was it, and the resources were pretty scarce back then.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I said, well, this font doesn't really sound like the one in the film. So I just went into my computer, and back then it wasn't .wave, it was raw files, and it was a pain. But I tried it, and I say, okay, so well, I tried it, and I really liked the font that I did, and I said, okay, what's next? I can do a Vader font now. There was one Vader font which again was like a repetition of a Luke Skywalker sounds.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that doesn't satisfy me.
It's not Vader for you.
I spent $2,000 on this lightsaber, so I had to do something with it.
Yeah.
So I filled my saber with all like Zelda fonts and everything, and pretty much that was it. I just did them for myself, and And yeah, that was the start.
Oh, that's cool. Cole and Jim and Titan, welcome, guys. I'm glad y'all are here, man. This is gonna be a fun episode today. It's gonna be a fun episode, man.
Hey,
So,
the very first font I ever purchased, this was like maybe 7 years ago. I don't know, but it was on Saber font. It was your Qui-Gon font. And
Wow.
Your font was what got me into like the whole Saber community. Once I realized you can upload fonts, I was like, this sounds good. I like this. So you're my first font purchase ever.
I want to say mine was probably Shamim's, maybe either Shamim's or Keenan's.
yeah, he came out with some really great ones, man. Shamim, I really enjoyed a lot of his builds too, because not only did he do awesome in tutorials, but as well, welcome Chuck. Not only did he do awesome in the tutorials, but the very creative mind that he had, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wowed us all with everything that he did for the Sabres, man. It was such a pleasure to see, and he had such a good attitude on his vids, man.
He quit as soon as I started.
Really?
He went, man. I was like, Jesse, you chased him out, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It was like back in 2019, around that time.
I think it was before that. Well, yeah. You know, it might have been around 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw him at Celebration Chicago, which was 2018, and he was still going on. So yeah, probably around end of 2018.
No.
Chuck says, "Hey guys, how many of you use Audacity or Ocean Audio for compiling CFX or Profi fonts?"
Audacity, 100%.
Dude, I don't know how you do it. Good on you, dude.
I
I don't know how you do it, bro.
Is it really that hard? What do you do?
Fuck yeah, bro. That's some primitive shit right there, dude.
Yeah, Audacity for me is pretty limiting as what you can actually do.
I mean, it work.
I have used Audacity for a few things. I mean, just to play around with, and I tried it with just a couple of things, and of course one of my friend's voice on there. So it was like, pretty trippy, but with some help and everything, I got it done. For the boot up sound that I wanted and everything.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I use Logic Pro.
Logic
on Mac. Yeah.
Now is that a paid program or is that a free program?
But it's like I think it's like $200.
Yeah,
you pay it one time. It's not like Pro Tools where you pay like $600 a year or something like that.
7 years ago, I used to do them on Final Cut, but it was just a pain.
That's a video editor, dude.
I know. Yeah, it was Final Cut 7. Yeah, it was Final Cut 7, but it was just a pain. It would render clicks at the end and metadata. It was just a nightmare. And I said, no, screw it. I asked Irv from Plector Labs, and I asked, which one do you recommend? And he said, go for Audacity. And I just said, okay. Just
you haven't tried anything since?
About that one too.
No.
Reaper's kind of technically free. And it's Reaper's very good, yeah.
Actually,
Isotope RX9 for isolating, and that's it.
RX, yep.
Yeah.
If you Google a company called Cakewalk, I think they still have a free one, which they're going to go to paid in the next couple months, but it's free right now, and that does pretty decent.
I mean, they all do pretty much the same things, just in different ways. But
like I'm stuck on Pro Tools.
God damn, I don't know.
Well, does Logic Pro has like a nice to prolong a track, like a sound, like a make it larger or filters?
Like a stretch.
Yeah, stretch.
Yeah, it's got flex, but I use it's a certain type of synth. I forget what it's called, but you could put like a single wave file in it, and then it turns it into like a synthesizer. So I do that for Smooth Swing a lot. There's a specific name for it.
Because pulse stretch on Audacity is not really good.
Yeah, stretching's not
That's my unicorn right now.
It's tough. Yeah.
Being able to stretch for smooth strings, just enlarge a piece like a tiny bit, because sometimes you just have like a half a second piece of smooth string, and you have to figure out how to enlarge it. Yeah.
Yeah. The RX has some good shit, but as for smooth swing, I forget what it's called.
Chuck says
I'm gonna look it up.
Chuck says I'm trying to find zero
granular synthesizer. That's what you want.
Synthesizer.
Yeah, granular synthesizer. You could throw an axe. No, that's just the type of synth. There's a bunch of free ones out there you could download.
Is that made by Native Instruments? That sounds familiar.
That's just like what type of synthesizer it is. I use Omnisphere.
Yeah, that's what I use too.
Yeah,
that's
like
that's
$500.
Great.
Now, on an average, how long would it take you guys to make one single font, like that you're totally interested in?
One's taken me literally a few hours.
Yeah,
and then I've had one take me like 2 weeks. So
oh wow!
It depends. It really depends. The Dark Ray took me like 2 or 3 hours, but then literally I think the one before that I did was Leia's, and that took me 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Yeah,
the original ones. Usually, you want to take your time. The TV shows one are like, I think we all have.
It just depends.
Yeah,
it just depends on what they use. It's like, oh, if it's like a Vader sound, that's easy because we have all that stuff. But when it's something new,
yeah,
it could be hard. It could be hard to source
and isolate and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty amazing, man. What Cole goes? What important question? What is BK drinking?
That's a big ass ice cube, dude.
That, my friend, is an old-fashioned. I love making old fashioned.
I need to get me some more single malt whiskey, man, that my brother-in-law bought for me years ago, and man, that shit was smooth. It's a Texas-based single malt whiskey. Oh my god, it was good. And I tell you though that I bought some for Space Windu, man, and he's got a place out there. Was it Totally Wine or
Total Wines? Yeah,
Total Wine. There you go. So he lives close to one out there. So I bought him a bottle, and he went and picked it up. So he's really enjoying it right now and stuff like that. It's pretty smooth. But like I said, I got the Jose Cuervo Especial, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Where do you all live?
I live in Florida.
I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh,
Los Angeles.
Nice.
Very nice. Mexico City.
Nice.
Mexico City. Well, you're only you're about 8 hours away from me, actually, I think. Because I'm like South Texas. Where the Mexico meets.
Yeah, the Corpus.
Texas.
Yeah. I mean, Los Angeles. And what is Orlando, Florida?
No, yeah, I'm like an hour or 2 hours south of Tampa.
Oh,
so I'm down there. I'm south.
Nice.
I'm down south pretty far.
They get the same weather we do, man. Hot and hotter.
It was beautiful today, actually. It was in like the 70s.
a friend of mine lives in San Augustine.
Yeah,
she has a lot of troubles with hurricanes and stuff. She just got her house wrecked and everything last year. It was just a nightmare. She had to come back.
Yeah, it literally the one last year went straight through my town.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I got lucky, but
really?
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah. Is it hot right now?
No, it's. I mean, like last week, sure, but today it was probably the nicest it's been all year.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say the same here for Corpus because, like I said, we pretty much get the same weather since we're on the coast and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today was just absolutely nice. In the morning, it was like 62 or something like that this morning, and then later on, it got when the sun came out, it was a good 82 degrees. Really nice.
It was cooler here, actually, surprisingly. Was it 64 out right now? Damn. That's cold for Florida.
I'm still wearing shorts, man. In 50-degree weather, I'm still wearing shorts, dude.
I can if it's sunny out. I can.
Okay, so let me give you guys a couple of each one of you. We're gonna start with the first font that I wrote down from each one of you guys, and I want some insight on some of these and what you were thinking when you were making these fonts. Like Juan, you're Inuyasha, and are you an anime fan?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I actually have my Akatsuki.
Oh, nice, dude.
From Naruto, yeah. Yeah, I really like anime.
Oh, nice. And so what made you decide to do that font? Other than than the show itself, because I enjoyed Inuyasha as well. But what stuck from there in order for you to do the font?
Well, actually, that was a commission font that a customer asked me to do. But back in 2004, I was obsessed with Inuyasha and Naruto, and I really wanted to tackle at some point the Tetusaiga sword from Inuyasha. And like this guy said, okay, so how come you haven't done it? And like, I want a commission, so I spent. That was very like it took me a month, because on those kind of projects like Demon Slayer, Inuyasha, and Sword, I really try to go episode by episode and just like capture every single sound and chord and everything, which has actually worked for me. Like, it was a pain at first, but then, for example, with Ahsoka, that kind of workflow really like I really
especially when you have a whole week to get it. It's not like the whole show comes out and then you have to like crush. You could take it week by week. I like
exactly. Now I can just take notes of time code and say, okay, this sound and that sound and whatever. And so it was like 2 weeks of just watching the whole episode, but it's 160 episodes. So I really enjoyed them, and I took time. And then it was just cleaning. Like, sometimes you can rip the sound from DVDs or Blu-rays, but like those animes back from 2000,
they're all like 2.1. They're in stereo. Yeah.
It's cool when you have five.
I tried doing a Yu-Gi-Oh one, and it didn't work.
Yeah, so you have to then isolate the sounds and remove the music, or sometimes you just have to replace them with like, I bring back like my synthesizer and just fill the gaps and whatever. And it was.
I agree with Chuck, man. Your Thunder the Barbarian.
That was a nightmare, and I lost the project like a minute after I sent the font to Saberfont. I don't know what happened. Like, something happened to my computer and it just erased the whole file. So I don't have anything. And it took me a month isolating, and because it again, sometimes you just have to rely on YouTube. There's nothing else.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, I found it over there on Saberfont, but if you need the file back, I have it on my computer, man.
Oh, I mean, I have the font, but I don't have the like the sounds, the isolated sounds that I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I try to revisit my fonts every 6 months. And I wanted to revisit that one, but I can't, and I won't.
I tell you what, I have it, and I'm not gonna get rid of it, man, because I absolutely love it. That I tell you, that particular font went on to my my friend's memory saber hilt, man, and I just love it, because it's funny is because when I boot it up, you'll hear my friend going, "¿Qué pasa, mama?" And then you hear Thunder the Barbarian. Dude, that is like badass.
I have a question for you. Like, sometimes, do you have problems just keeping bass on your fonts? Because I try to remove them. Like, once I test the fonts, I see that every time that my speaker begins to rattle, I just remove the bass. I don't know if you have any problems or anything. No,
dude, I keep all that shit.
I know, like that's cool. That's awesome, because that
accuracy, man.
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would like it would pass the test of time. I keep bass, but
yeah.
I,
I'll high pass at 60 if I have to, but that's not, it's not really
So
that
Jesse,
much.
let's
But
talk about your werewolf one, man. What were you think when you made the werewolf font?
I was thinking Maroc, make it as accurate as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like a Halloween type thing going on whenever you decided to make that, or
No, I mean it's just that was like the name that he was based off of that.
yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean like those. I don't really know. I use Wikipedia, dude. If you ever need font names, Wikipedia, bro. You're like, oh, I'm about to do a Ray font. I need a cool name for it. Just go on Wikipedia, dude. Like,
I was thinking like, okay, Jesse, man. I was like, when I listened to it, I
I
was
could
all
have
like,
just named it Maroc, but like I was like, I don't want to. Everybody's gonna name theirs Maroc. You know what I mean? So
right. No, but I was like, werewolf. I was all like, dude, is he gonna swing it and you're gonna hear?
see, I thought people would get that confused too, but I was like, fuck it, I don't care.
I was like,
They'll hear it, and
"Man."
the font wave will be like Maroc, and they'll be like, okay. And if
But,
they
like,
really want to look it up, then they
does
can
that give
figure
you
it out.
anxiety saying, I don't know if I'm going to like just mess it up and people are just going to say werewolf? No, thank you. Or like, or you just go with it and
I
just
say
okay.
fuck it, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, they get it.
go with it, man.
I released all the Ahsoka Show fonts at once, so like it kind of like, that's probably part of that, So
Uh-huh. And BK, your speeder horn, man. Came out amazing, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, that one was just another corn horn, inspired sound font. And for me, like I think when I wanted to tackle it, because in my catalog, my font catalog, I didn't have another like silvery kind of blade, and I figured, it's a good time to do a corn horn.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I know you guys have all done corn horn fonts, and they're all based on like speeder bike sounds and things like that. So I was like, well, what could I do differently? So I tried to keep mine while still retaining some of that, speeder bike-esque, nuances, but I wanted to keep it more focused on the actual Cannon Saber sound, but keep it a silver sounding blade. Because like you said, you go on, Wikipedia, that's, I had to read about him, and like he had the dual phase, and it was like with the silver shard and an emerald, crystal with a diamond. I was like, okay, so now I got that to work with. So, based on those descriptions, what kind of sounds can I come up with that's, would separate mine from everybody else's?
Yeah, I had Benji feeding my ear for that one. See, that's like his favorite thing was those corn horn books or whatever. So
well, and that was the hardest thing about doing this, because no one's ever actually heard corn horn saber before.
But to be fair, though, that also makes it very easy, because you could be creative and just come up with it whatever you want.
And that's exactly why I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Because nobody could tell me I fucked it up.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of them came out really, really good, man. And like one, you like as well as your duality came out pretty nice, dude. The duality font.
Thank you. That was actually a remaster of a font I made 10 years ago. It was like for Crystal Focus 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And Fernando Fetz263 told me like 4 months ago, hey, do you want to do anything with the phase 2 of OS 7 for Profi? And I said, okay. I have like these two in one fonts, dark side and light side, which again, actually, like it's really like I really enjoyed it, but it worked out for when the Anakin Thanos lesson on the Ahsoka Tano TV show. He also has like this kind of dynamic in which it's light and dark. So I said, okay, I'm just going to do something similar with the new I'll change capabilities for Profi, which is part of the font. So right now I'm trying to work on projects which take advantage of these new capabilities. Just having fun. Otherwise, you get bored. I mean, I don't know.
That's what
boring.
I think that's a common denominator, is that if you don't have fun with it, you can get bored pretty easily.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So right now I was commissioned to do a Cars Lightning McQueen font. Exactly, like you say, okay. So I did it, but like I said, okay, it's fine, it's cool, you know, you like we've all done speeder bike and vroom vroom and but now with the I'll change font, what I'm going to release is you have the manual version and the automatic version, in which the manual on I'll change, what I did was just the main hum is just going to be like a idle motor hum. And then when you press and go to all change, you go to racing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's kind of like the way in which you can have fun. Otherwise, again, it's we have the catalog.
But then what about when somebody has CFX or Xeno and they're like, yo, I want that?
Yeah, well, no, because for example,
or they expect it. They buy the font expecting it to work on that saber.
I'm just going to say this works for Profi and everything. Yeah, you cannot like.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we get that all the time.
For Crystal
yeah, but that's why they have to pay attention, Jesse. Because you know, I was looking at you know,
not if they file a PayPal claim, dude. Then it's on you.
Yeah, you can add
I got
them
3 yesterday.
You can add them as separate ones, but you cannot, interact within the same font. That's the difference. Yeah.
Right. And it's so, on the saberfont.com, it tells you too. It tells you this is for Profi, this is for CFX, this is, for Golden Harvest. And, people need to read that. They need to make sure, hey, pay attention to what you're looking at and make sure that you press on the one that you're actually wanting. Because if you don't have a Golden Harvest or you don't have a CFX, you do have a Profi, but you put the CFX one on there, come on, it's not going to work. So,
Dude,
pay attention to what you're doing.
No matter how easy you make it, there's always going to be something.
Yeah, that's key. That's our mantra, right? To make it as simple as possible. Do any of you own Xenopixels or Golden Harvest or anything?
I have a Xeno 2 technically, but I'd never use it. Xeno 3, dude, Xeno 3 has been giving me issues all the time. I always get emails and everybody's like, yo, I got a Xeno 3 saber and I put a sound font on it and then it doesn't work. And then my answer every time, change your SD card. Because the SD cards that ship with them are horrible. They're super slow.
Huh.
Literally, if they change it to like a SanDisk and throw all the stuff back on it and throw new stuff on it, works.
I spent 6 hours last weekend just trying to troubleshoot a font for a Xenopixel. And it was like
SD card, dude. Have them switch the SD card.
That's weird. I've never had any issues with the Xeno, because I
always have people email me and they're
I had a Xeno 2, the Xeno 3, the Golden Harvest. It's just for testing.
Xeno 2 was fine, but Xeno 3, because I was talking to Pat, they're going to do a firmware update next week because there's something. It's either the SD, because I had somebody else recently. They actually switched the SD card and it was still like sometimes it would ignite and then you'd be swinging it and then sometimes the smooth swing would go away like while you're swinging it. Like it seems like it's not fast enough. Like it's not keeping up.
I heard too. I never had issues with it.
Jim says the Scavenger's Destiny I think is the best Ray font.
Damn, dude. Well, you know what? I took advantage because you don't hear her swings, right, in the movie. So we all didn't know what they would sound like. And then like in Battlefront, it was just Battlefront swings. But then when the holiday special came out, that's post Rise of Skywalker, she had the yellow saber in it, so we got her swings. So I got the swings from that.
Oh,
yeah, you need to do an update now.
No. Those were commissions. Like to be honest, there are some fonts like main Star Wars, which I personally don't enjoy making because it's like too generic or whatever. And I got commission, or how come it doesn't sound? That was
Ezra?
One of them. And I saw the Battlefront swings and I said, okay, these are pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean they work. That's all we had, And then when the holiday special came out, I think 2 years ago now. I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago.
I'd rather spend like efforts in, for example, going back to a new font, a New Hope Luke Skywalker's
Mhm.
like what I did, and really capture the hum from the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my unicorn for ages,
Mm-hmm.
or the smooth swing for Qui-Gon Jinn, which at the beginning I think we all used the Vader like idle hum for it because we didn't have anything, and then I just figured out how those kind of things. I like Ray Scavenger. I really just pass.
Now I like I said this afternoon. I listened to Jesse's Qui-Gon, and man, it came out pretty slick. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the green blade with it. I mean, it just worked totally well.
Have you isolated Obi-Wan's Attack of the Clones hum?
Well, I didn't isolate. I remade it.
It's just a pain. Ahsoka uses
you're talking about the buzzy one, right? The same one that Anakin's got in the Tusken scene.
No,
that's what I was gonna say. Didn't you do an Obi one?
Or is it the Obi-Wan at the end with his clan hilt?
No. The one where he's fighting. You
Jango?
only hear it on when he's fighting Jango Fett.
Yeah, it's the buzzy one. It's the same one that Anakin's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, JT. I think everybody's caught up with Ahsoka, man. Oh well, actually, I am. I don't know if everybody else.
It's the only time Anakin has it is when he's killing the Tuskens. When he lights it up for a second, it's the same. It's like that. It's like just a buzz. Yeah.
Huh. I listened to it on the 5.1. I like the track, and it was like it wasn't pretty. Like it was dirty and crap. That's right now.
I used my what is it? The
I know, right, Jim?
Poly. It's like it's a synthesizer, but I just use that and then match the note and match the speed of the buzz.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's for Anakin episode 2 and Obi episode 2. But then he's got the Darth Maul swings, like it's weird, but it's cool.
Yeah,
and then go watch that scene. Jango's blasters aren't Jango's blasters; they're OT Stormtrooper. E11s. Never realized that, and then because when I was making it
on Camino,
I was like, oh, it's Jango, so I'll just put in Jango blasters. And then when I listened back to it, I was like, damn, it's not, and I just switch it out before I put it out. I just assumed that it was because, you only hear his blasters when he shoots at Mace.
Yeah.
JT says Babylon's activation as guard dog rematch fight. In episode 7 of Ahsoka is very Dooku-ish Sith activation. Even though it's an orange.
He's got the most basic ignition. Yep. I kind of hate it, but whatever. It's just
now
like
another
Vader, like that's it.
Yeah.
No beef, no extra low end, nothing. Just raw Sith ignition.
It's simple and basic, right?
Yeah,
simple and basic.
Prequel-y.
It seems as if they just skim through the catalog and say, hey, this is nice, drag it here. Hey, this swing is nice. Like Obi-Wan's power on Kenobi. Like it's Vader.
Yeah.
I know. It's a Sith ignition. They did it's there's new shit to it, you know what I mean? Like some bottom end, but at the end of the day, it was a Sith ignition.
Yeah. It's like
now BK, your Relictron, man. That came out really well as well. I really enjoyed listening to that, and I had to really kind of, when you were swinging around, I noticed some of the uptones just very slightly, when you're at it, and you put I believe the yellow blade with it, right?
Yeah. I think Relictron was my take on like an Old Republic kind of font, but it's very like you guys. Like Juan and Jesse might know, it's very Battlefront-esque. Like you can hear the Battlefront tones in it, but it still sounds kind of like old school Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very buzzy and electric and things like that.
Electric. That was a good way to describe it.
It was like when I made that font, I didn't know what to call it because it wasn't really a character font. So I did like a poll on Facebook and said, come up with a
I
cool
like the name.
maybe a free font. We said Relictron. I was like, that sounds cool. Okay, because it's like an old relic.
Yeah.
There you go.
It works, dude. It really works because I mean, like you said, it's very electric and just I really especially like that because I like the yellow blades quite a bit as well as well most color blades I do like. I mean, it doesn't matter any color really, but I think if you have a specific color with a specific font, it really the blade brings the soul to the font really as well. I mean, they're
Sure, yeah.
two peas in a pod, right? You got a really good blade color or blade animation, and then you have that quality type of font to go with it. It's just hands down, you just can't beat that combination.
What's the name of the font?
Relictron.
Relictron. It's an old font of mine. I think I did that like 3 years ago.
Relictron. Wow.
I hate bringing up old fonts.
So do I.
Why?
Mundo, of all the fonts you want to talk about, why you got to bring up my old shit?
No, because look, here's the reasoning behind that, okay? If you bring up old shit, you're like, oh, fuck, okay. But then when you go back and you look at it, you're like, dude, I'm going to do something different with this and better than this, because I mean, be honest, you gotta, like Juan says, you gotta go and you look back at what you've done before, and if you find something that you've done before and it's like, I can improve on this, I can improve on that, and I can turn it into a new font, somehow twist it to a new font, then there you go, man. You've already done half of the work for the new font itself, right?
I won't usually do like a new font. Like I always go through all my catalog like every
I've done so many V2s.
6 months. Every 6 months to a year, I'll go through and just start cleaning house and re-updating. But I won't make new fonts out of them. I'll just update it and send out, update patches to the customers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just redo it straight
Yeah,
up.
like well, if you redo it, yeah.
Now, what plans do you have for like new stuff coming up? Like, any new projects where you have like maybe some of your different out of Star Wars shows that you're going to incorporate to the Star Wars, fonts?
No.
No.
Like what? Like what do you mean? New font?
Well,
Like new fonts?
Like not Star Wars fonts.
Yeah.
Like out of universe.
Yeah, out of universe.
Cars. Well, this week is going to be Cars, the Cars font, and next week is going to be Scream for Halloween.
That's smart. Yeah.
And it's not fun that I've already done, but since like Ahsoka has been 2 months of so yeah, Scream, and I have to finish a series that I began, which was called The Force Sins, and I made Anger, Hate, and I have to finish Suffering, and that's going to be like, and I still there's a Visions 2, the season 2 font, which from the first episode, in which the first episode is fine. I'm just
the first episode was fine, but the rest of them, like there was like 3 episodes where they used sabers anyway. I've been putting it off too, because I didn't do. I think when Visions first came out, I just did the first episode, and then I just got into other things, didn't feel like doing the rest, and then I finally went through and did all the Visions fonts for season 1, and then season 2 comes out, and I'm like, all right, let's do this, and then it's like I didn't really care for season 2 that much.
Yeah, I saw it, and he's like, "There's not enough content." He's like, "It's not worth it." But the first episode, I'm just
the first episode. Yeah, that's the art one, right? Like that one was cool.
Yeah,
but I'll get around to it. Just it might take me like until season 3 comes out. I'll be like, fuck, I gotta get this done.
Cole says, I think Project Fonts did a Shin Haiti.
Yeah, he did.
And Babylon Fonts too. Whoa. Another font maker has joined the chat. Welcome, Blue Mamba. So, for future reference, guys, I'll be doing several episodes for font makers, man. And because I want to make sure that you guys get the recognition for, doing such awesome, great work, man. Uh, I know you guys kind of tend to hate on some of your old stuff, and I think that's probably what I did write down with some
I
of
think
your
anybody
old
really
stuff.
does that.
But in all fairness, though, people who are just joining in on the who are coming into the hobby right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they can look up some of these fonts, and I think they do. Your old stuff does due diligence for them to get started with,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then build
totally.
up to the new stuff.
Yeah.
Any font which makes you very proud?
Me?
Yeah, to you.
Well, at the time, Ezra's Green Hilt, that was so hard.
Oh yeah, there was not a lot of it.
There's not a lot out there. Yeah.
No.
That was very hard. So that was satisfying. And then I think not when I first did the Darksaber, because I've had like 3 versions already, but I actually bought like the dark, because there was like barely any like Darksaber stuff out, right? I bought a Darksaber toy and rigged it with a guitar jack so I could record the hum out of it.
Hum that came with it.
Yep. That was a peak moment for me.
What were you, Jesse? What were you thinking when you did Warp Star?
Kirby, dude. I don't know.
Kirby.
He's funny.
Yeah, I found it pretty comical, man. I was all like, "Oh, dude."
I don't know. I just thought I could make it work. For somebody that has a lot of out of universe fonts, I don't really like doing them.
Uh-huh.
Like, I just like a lightsaber to sound like a lightsaber.
Same.
But I get requests for crazy out of universe stuff all the time, and I'm like, not really feeling it. But every once in a while, you'll randomly like find some like files or something looking for something else, and you'll be like, oh shit, like that'll work for this or whatever. I think that was something that came up, and I think I found like the sounds of like the star Kirby rides and stuff, and I don't know. I was like, I could probably make something, and a couple hours later, I'd come up with that obnoxious sound font.
I tell you though, man, because I was listening to it, I was like, dude, that would be like perfect for some of my nieces when I make them a
exactly.
saber, dude.
Yeah,
they would love that shit. I'm like, man. And they're very young too. They're very young kids. They're probably right now. I'd say they're about 6 and 7. So, they go crazy for it.
Yeah, people ask for a lot of out of universe fonts.
I know.
mean, I've done a Succession sound font.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like.
Now, is there a lot of times where you pass on the out of universe fonts?
Yeah.
And
Every
you're
time.
like, yeah, without a hesitation, huh?
Yeah.
I have one.
Unless it's.
And I didn't launch it because it's just so far fetched that I didn't think anybody would want it. It was like the game Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
I wanted to do like an interactive font that was like a Guitar Hero style, where it's like the hum was like the drum backing track. And
I did something like that.
Yeah,
I never released it.
No, me neither. I made a Metallica sound font with Lars battery.
Oh wow.
It was
thing where if you guys grew up on Van Halen, like they do this call and response thing where Alex would do the drums and then Eddie would follow up with a lick. And I did it with sabers, so like accent swings would trigger certain things, blaster blocks would trigger certain things. But after a while, it's like I finished it and I was swinging it around. The first time I played, I was like, this is kind of cool. But then I was like, I don't ever want to play this again, though. It's like it's kind of stupid. So I never released it. And I sat there and recorded on this guitar right here for like weeks, doing all my own licks and stuff. And it's just I was just like, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, music fonts are weird. I had to make one for a commission, and I didn't like. They were like, make it sound like Jay DeLorean's. I was like, just get Jay DeLorean to do it. Like,
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, you
'cause
cannot
he's
ask
done
another
plenty of
person.
those.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, if somebody is commissioning you for something and then they're saying like do it by like another font maker,
Yeah.
that's kind of I mean in my eyes that's kind of rude, man. Because you're trying to commission somebody, but you want the sound from this other
Yeah. Or the
font
style, I
maker.
guess. But
Give him the opportunity to do what you want, so that and it's like and there's no animosity between anybody at the same time, right?
yeah.
But of course people are just going to do whatever like you say. So
Well, it was I was already doing like 12 for them, so like they wanted one more, but like music synthy kind of, and I was like, I'll try.
mhm.
They accepted it, so whatever.
Now your Centauri font, man, I really enjoyed that one pretty well. It's kind of crispy though. It gets a little
that was
reverberated.
that was actually mostly Keenan Kaseth, because
Really?
me and him did all of our Survivor fonts together.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty good though.
That one's, dude. Like Keenan's got some cool stories when it comes to the Survivor fonts that we did, because he had to like hack the game, and he got into like their algorithm, because when you get the files for the game, first off, that was a bitch that he had to go through. It took like a whole week of trial and error, and then finally when you get it, the only sounds that like they had the cutscene audio all separated and stuff, which was nice. But for like Cal's saber, it was only blue, so they only had the raw files for his blue sounds. And then but then in real time through the game engine, they do processing to make the other sounds. So like the other, like the white, the orange, and all that stuff, it's all based off of blue, and then they have all this processing. So what he's able to do is he could load in whatever saber sounds he wants, and then it uses that algorithm, and then he could record. And it's got that processing, which is really cool. And we did that.
Damn.
We did that for Centauri. We did that for Dagon, his yellow one, because we were able to get his raw hum and his raw ignitions, but there was no like swings. Like he lights it up once and then he turns it red. So then we used the yellow algorithm with some other swing sound that he had. I don't know, but those ones were cool. Those were really tough.
So you have which one was tough for you, and pretty much were all of those that you did together extremely difficult, or has there been one specific once we
got access to the sounds, then it was just like it was easy. It was just the hardest part usually of font making is sourcing.
Yeah.
Once you get it, you're like, all right, sick, fucking rename, or I mean, it depends, but
yeah.
But yeah, the hardest part is getting good sounds.
Good sounds.
Yeah, I actually had to record 3 hours worth of duel against Dagon.
Yep.
Because the fucking idiot wouldn't just position himself close to me in an angle, but at some point he would just get stuck in a part in a section in which the audio was just like impeccable, and you could hear like, because he had like this kind of distorted hum in which it would go down, it would ramp up or down.
So, and that was done by the game engine. So like the actual raw hum that you get in like when you hack the game and steal the files, the raw hum doesn't have that. That's the game engine doing it in real time. So we had to recreate that. Yeah. Where the pitch change, and then his ignitions we had raw, but swings and stuff, I remember he had to because when you get into the game you get all these different subfolders for each scene and each area. So he had to replace the sounds with silence, so that way, like when you go into this certain cave, it's dead silent. You don't get the water dripping. You don't get the humming from the cave. Like that's it. That's how we're able to record like all the other saber sounds, because only Blue had raw files.
Nice.
So are y'all working like with like hundreds of files at a time?
Yes.
Or just
it was a lot, yeah. Because you had to unpackage the was it
the zip
Unreal
file
Engine? Yeah.
Damn.
No, I just played it 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
and just making passes. It was like this level, but I'm just going to take all the volume from the music off.
Yeah, we hate ourselves, so we like we try to get the raw files. It worked, but it took like 2 weeks.
Jesus.
Now, have y'all gone out and done some of your own sounds for your fonts?
Yeah, but I haven't used them.
Yeah.
Because accuracy.
Yeah, not for like for original trilogy sounds or whatever, because I'm sure like there's 2012 the 2012 celebration, Ben Burt was there, and I was already making sound fonts, and I had already like I had questions, and I said, okay,
really?
so I have like
That's scary. That's scary.
No, he loved them.
He liked it. Okay.
Yeah, he liked them. So I said, oh, okay, cool. But no, the Doppler effect to me is kind of bullshit.
100%, dude. It is not real, dude. When they always say that they recorded the speaker, nah, dude, no, they didn't. Because you don't get a real Doppler waving. Yeah.
I said, unless I'm on a fucking plane and the speaker is like the size of Manhattan. He didn't say. But I saw it like
that fucking bitch. Fuck you.
He said it got like there was synthesizing involvement and like weird stuff like putting the sound of a funnel. There was a ton of crap. Okay. It wasn't just how you see him just
performing it. Nah, dude. Yeah.
That's bullshit. Yeah. You wouldn't even get the idle hum just like
you're essentially automating the hum in real time. Like
the boom, that you don't get it.
Yeah.
Especially not the Maul or the Darth Vader one. That's beyond me.
Dude, so I have my analog synth, and I actually have a little TV that I used to get an actual authentic buzz. And so like I was going through this thing where I was trying to recreate hums like perfectly, and I got pretty close. I remade a Graphics hum that I have like, not using Star Wars sounds, you know what I mean? And I have a Luke Episode 6 hum. But what and me and Keenan always talk about it. What the fuck is Vader's? His idle hum.
Oh, the
yeah, like the classic like Episode 5 Vader hum.
That's the projector.
Is it though?
Yeah,
because I know the Graphics is the projector.
No, because do you have the book from the Sounds of Star Wars?
Yes. Yep, I do.
Okay, so if
I have them all clipped.
Yeah. So when you hear the original clip, you hear the click of the.
Oh yeah. Well, that's part of Dooku. That's part of Dooku.
That's part. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can hear the pitch up, and that's what he used for Vader, and then just the and then he goes to his TV sound, which is just the idle Vader hum.
Yeah. I can't recreate that. I don't know how to. Like with the Graphics, it's easy. It's two different. Like I know the two different notes, and then one is the buzz and one is the clean synth or whatever, and you layer them together 50-50, and it's pretty fucking Graphics. But for Vader, I mean, like it's got this weird. Doesn't sound like a.
No, you have to use the main source for the sound. Yeah, you don't.
Didn't he say that he went to like a like one of those wire towers and
for the blasters?
But the blasters was actually those slings.
The slinkies, right? The slinky
deal. Yeah. He had like 1,000 sounds for each specific sound, so what you hear is a combination of each. It's not like how they want to
I need a refill. I'll be back.
For instance, like
Yeah.
for example, on the Ezra hum for Ahsoka, they use the main original
Graphics.
track
Yeah.
for the hum.
Mhm.
I got it from Fortnite. I like the one that.
Same, me too. Yep.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only place where you
That's
can
the
get
best graphics.
Yeah, that's the best graphics. The one that goes
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
stabilizes. And
Yeah, graphics or Fortnite came in clutch.
yeah, it's Fortnite. Yeah.
Now, Juan, did you enjoy doing the Blind Master one?
Oh yeah. All those because I got the opportunity to watch Clone Wars. Like there are some projects in which I enjoy if they bring me to Rebels and Clone Wars and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy that one.
Now, here's something comical. Do you guys ever watch like movies, non-Star Wars, and go like, "Fuck, maybe I could do that"?
I did
And
that
get
with
Ghostbusters.
the Adam Project
Oh yeah.
because he had like a
The
fake
Adam Project?
lightsaber. He had a
Yeah,
fake
that was
lightsaber in it.
cool.
Wait, let me.
See, I gotta get ready to head home from work, so I'll probably have to watch the VOD later. Have a great night, dude.
What's
Cindy.
funny though is
No worries, buddy.
other movies that were produced out of Skywalker Ranch, they reuse Star Wars sounds. In some
Yeah.
movies, I can rehear like
Well,
certain blasters in ignition.
so
and other things.
Ray's blaster isn't even Ray's blaster. It was Vision's
Ray.
his crystal. What is
No
his
shit.
his in
His crystal ray shot.
Infinity? Yeah, the shot from his forehead.
Yeah, the shot.
the
from
Infinity
the
Stone.
beam. Yeah, the beam from the stone.
That's that we heard it in that first before we heard it from Ray's blaster, which I thought was crazy. I didn't even realize that.
Wow. Blue Mama says that the Rebel Moon sound fonts whenever that movie comes out, laugh out loud.
Oh, true. That's the Star Wars from
Rebel Moon sound.
Snyder, right?
I think he passed the motor sound from the camera through a synth and added pitch down. No clue.
Now, no, I haven't heard too many fonts, if any, lately at all, with Chewbacca in there.
My most recent one was Gunji. If that
Gunji?
counts.
Okay. It does count. It does count. But I'm waiting
That
for
was when Bad Batch was coming out.
I got this crazy idea about a font in my head that you hear Harrison Ford, Chewie, and then you hear the ignition go right. Luke's
Okay, so
ignition.
yeah, I did not do one like that, where it's like Chewbacca sounds the whole time.
Yeah.
That would be annoying.
I'd say
I mean, it would be
would.
funny. It would be funny at first, but you'd be skipping over it like after like 6 times playing with it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well,
it's
for a
no
boot
more-
sound, though. It wouldn't be
no
too
more
bad for a boot sound, would it?
made.
No, yeah, Chewbacca's a boot sound, sure. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. See, you had the Chewbacca as the boot sound.
I was
And
thinking
then you
Chewbacca the
hear-
entire time, like smooth.
Yeah.
swearing.
Oh yeah, no. That's
Yeah,
not what I was talking
it
about.
could be done.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Now, I'm just giving ideas here, guys. I mean, shit,
I've done Jawas, but no
A
Wookiees.
Jawa font, interesting.
Yeah. That was a commission too.
Of
Hey,
course
do
it
a
was.
Jawa font.
Yeah.
Because
I think
nobody,
I heard one-
we wouldn't be thinking that.
Didn't somebody do a Jawa boot? Houdini!
Oh
Well,
yeah,
that's-
that's pretty. Yeah. Ever since since A New Hope or whatever, you would just like back in like 8 years, like still 8 years ago, like you would find I don't know a video on YouTube with clean sounds and you would
Mhm.
just go crazy. Hey, probe droid sound. Let's put it everywhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There wasn't like consistency. Now we are being much more refined because we can. Back then,
Like the R2 one, man. Whew.
yeah, back then it was just maybe like Jesse said, you would have to rely on, plug a toy, which had the
Mhm.
only source, or an iPhone, and like there was an iPhone app with sabers that
Oh
had
shit!
the cleanest swings,
Damn.
and yeah, you would have to just go to the root of that app and just extract them. Chewbacca farts followed by Han Chewie.
No.
Jim, you outvoted, man. Nobody wants it, man. Jim's getting a little crazy over here.
No, it's fine.
He's either hitting the wacky tobacco or had too much to drink. No, I'm just kidding, Jim. I'm just kidding, dude.
And do you work on other projects or everything out of fonts in your everyday life, or?
Everyday life is just fonts. But I do have like hobbies, but they're not like, they don't take up my time. Like
Do you
fonts
have
do, so
you have hobbies outside of the font making and Star Wars stuff?
I mean, like music, and that's really it. But I mean, there's everything that came with it, like photo and video. Like I didn't know anything about cameras until I started making fonts, and I wanted to make YouTube videos, and then I dived into that and lighting and all this crazy shit. So like that's became fun. I have way too much camera equipment.
Really?
Not me, man. I got my simple phone. I got simple light, and I'm good to go, bro.
Yeah, I fell in a big asshole.
Now, see, like I am like super busy all the time. If I'm not working on the house, I'm working on my ranch, and if I'm not working on my ranch, I'm working on work. I do work, and then what little time I do find to work on Saber stuff, man. But I enjoy working on the Saber stuff so that it takes me away from all of the rest of that stuff, And of course, one thing that I will never get away from till the day I die is my hunting and fishing, man. My hunting and fishing come, religiously for me.
Yeah.
So,
what Cole said, I got Carter a girlfriend because I took his pictures. I helped him with his Tinder profile.
Jesus,
that's facts. There he is. Yep.
Oh. So there's another part to Jesse's resume right there. Tinder connection.
Yep.
That is too funny. And did you do BMF by yourself, or did you have a collab with that one too?
Yeah, I did it by myself. It was just the video was Benji.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it was right after our trip last year, and he stayed at my house like an extra day, and I already had that font done, but I didn't have a video recorded for it yet. And I was like, "Hey, dude, you want to do the video for me?" And yeah, so the video for that font demo is actually just Benji sitting in my chair in the same spot I always did it. It was just him demoing it instead of me.
Yeah, and the faces that he was making with it, dude. Classic Benji.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, it was just a Mace Windu font. I was overdue.
Yeah,
I never had one.
BK, you've done a lot of like Sithy fonts, right?
Yeah,
I think we all have.
Yeah, it's like
the Sith fonts are always the fun ones.
The Sith. That was gonna be my next. That was gonna be.
They're
my
always
next
unique.
question.
Yeah, because I think, like for me, I think. Well, I mean, even for Juana and Jesse, you guys we all have so much like sound media in our library that we have gigs and gigs of like Skywalker Ranch sounds that we can pull from easily, but like trying to use it in a new way where it doesn't sound, that's why I like doing a lot of Sith fonts where it's like I want it to sound like a lightsaber, but also give a new spin on it, so it's like, oh, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a couple months ago I did like a series of fonts, like I called it the Night series, where it was like the Night Brotherhood, the Night Master, the Night Sister, or something like that. Kind of like you would think of Inquisitor, like my take on it.
Mhm.
But I
Right.
tried to do not to say it's like a grayscale kind of, that whole dubstep kind of vibe. I was dipping my toes into that kind of vibe without going full grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still retaining that canon sound and
Yeah.
So
That's probably what I like. If I do a custom, that's what I enjoy the most. Is still trying to make it sound like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
like
Because
I
if
have
it doesn't, then I'm out of it.
I have a new one. What is it called? Well, I forget. It's called The Wicked. I just finished it up last week, and
Yeah, and
Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
as a matter of fact, I did tell BK, dude, it sounds wicked. And then he goes, "That's what I'm calling it, dude."
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
font, but it's just another take. So it's got all the elements that you've heard before. That that mall kind of warbliness, but it's subtle. But it's got all these other elements.
Mall hum too. That's I want to know what they did to make malls hum.
Right. It's got that weird like.
Yeah, it's different.
But you hear that mall hum all over Ahsoka, like all the like Shin and all them all had the mall hum.
Yeah, but it's that new variant. It's the Riva. That's when we first heard it.
Yeah. The one that's got the extra clickities. Like
was that part of like an original section of the hum which wasn't used
that we never had? Yeah, probably. That's what it seems like.
Maybe it was a tail end of the
but it wasn't. It wasn't anywhere before until Riva.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys find material from going back and seeing all of the documentaries, Star Wars documentaries?
Sometimes there's like a couple of interviews for Ben Burtt, which like now we already have you can get those sounds from the internet cleaner, but back then there was an interview on YouTube with Ben Burtt in which I used for the Dagobah because there wasn't music for when Luke was confronting Vader on the cave scene. Well, the tree scene, and then there was a fragment where Luke was confronting Vader at the throne room on Return of Jedi. So it was like,
it's fuck, I need this.
Yeah, it was like, oh my god. For instance, it took me from 2013 up to 2016 to get the Darth Maul hum because it was so rare.
Yeah,
I got it from an episode of the Big Bang Theory.
Interesting.
There was this character which was like a teacher from Sheldon Cooper, which just it turned into a ghost, and he would appear as a ghost to Sheldon, and he would wield a lightsaber, and he turned it on once, and there was the hum, Darth Maul hum. I went to Angry Birds, to everywhere, which was like Darth Maul, and I couldn't get it. Lego, and suddenly now it's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere. Now there's like multiple variants of it.
There's
that happened. That happened with Rey from Last Jedi. So at first her ignition and hum was hard to get clean.
Yeah.
And Keenan Kasith, he put out his font and it was fucking great. And that was like when I was first starting, and that was like his newest one. And I was like, how the fuck you do that? Because I was trying to make one. And I couldn't do a Rey. And then eventually they on Instagram they posted a video, like Star Wars posted a video on Instagram, and it had Rey's ignition and her hum clean as fuck. And I sent it to Keenan. I was like, fuck you, dude. Like I'm doing it now. Because like he had to do like all this work to like clean it and all this stuff, and I'm like, raw, here we go.
Yeah, and then they released it on Blu-ray, and you can just get the track. And now, like the strangest power arm from Rey is when she's confronting Luke Skywalker on the rain after she's
with that
Skyping.
It's got that weird
with the girly with the scream, with the girl scream, in which I thought it was Rey, and I actually spent time
trying to take it out.
And now you hear it on Sabine.
Yeah.
It's Sabine's power on Ahsoka. So it's like,
It's very similar to Ray's Scavenger then, right? Are you talking about that like that? There's something.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. The Sabine ignition. Yeah.
It's in that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's they make weird stuff.
That's funny.
I still don't know
Spent
where
all
they
that time
got
taking
it.
it out, and then
Like Darth Maul's swings are still a mystery to me. How they made them,
bro.
no clue.
Yeah.
Because
those were hard as hell to do, smooth swing wise.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it for the longest time until Omnisphere.
Until which one?
Omnisphere, the synth, the
Yeah, they
because that was it. You could just throw a fucking accent swing in it, and it'll spit out a smooth swing.
Yeah, it would make it.
It doesn't stretch it. It's a granular synthesizer, so it's like taking parts, and it's
so
pretty good.
cool.
Sometimes it's a little airy, but it works really good, especially
in
for
the
layers.
motion. You don't get it. Like if you analyze the sound, like some customers just come and say, "Hey, I was scrolling through your sounds in my computer." No. The experience of the Saber is where you have to get sounds, like you have to hear the sounds from there, because it's like special.
If you listen to a smooth swing, it's like, what the hell? It's all loud and shit. Like everybody's like, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
It's like, it's a loop. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, when I get a font and I download a font, man, it has to feel a certain way with the Saber, because even when I listen to it over and over before I purchase the font,
mm-hmm.
I kind of picture the sound with the Saber, and if it doesn't quite fit the Saber, like if it doesn't bring that soul to the Saber itself, then I kind of pass on it. But at the same time, I might go back to it, because if I'm doing a different hilt, it may work for a different hilt than it will work for this one. You know what I mean? And
I feel that, because
to me,
that font doesn't give your Saber soul?
well, it does, man. But that's what I'm saying. Each Saber, each unique Saber.
It depends on how the Saber sounds. Yeah, if it's
but I think the fonts really bring the soul of a Saber. So, for instance, certain fonts, are gonna fit, the Evo Flex, right? It's really gonna make the Evo Flex shine, because let's say you put the Centauri on here, and then I might have the Relictron, and then a couple, maybe the Alita to go with it, right? So those three, I think, in combination, if you put a combination of the fonts, they can really, really bring out the Saber soul. And I think it's important, and this is just my perspective, okay? This is not for anybody else. This is just how I feel for my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put certain combinations of different fonts, then it really it makes the Saber shine even that much more, right? So if you're looking to, let's say if you have a let me see. Oh, yeah. Like I'm doing a PVC pipe one, right? I mean, of course, this is from being very far from done, but this is just a little, right here. There's nothing in it. It's empty right now.
That's fun.
But let's say I put the speeder horn on here, and it may do the trick for it, right? But then again, it may not. It just depends on how the Saber looks on the type of font that I put on there, right? Now, other people, they'll just put like, a tons and tons and tons and go through all the fonts and stuff like that.
And that's because they probably only have one or two Sabers. Yeah. Because when I first started and I only had one hilt, it was just loaded with everything. Yeah. And then, as you go on and you collect more and you get more hilts, then you're like, oh, maybe I could, maybe this one could be my dark side hill. Maybe this one could be my light side. And then
Exactly,
eventually, then you have all the character ones. That's like, all right, this one's just Obi-Wan.
You become a purist.
This one, yeah.
Say, no, I'm not.
But when people first start off, it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, what else are they going to put their fonts on? If they
Yeah.
only have one
Yeah.
hill, that thing's going to be loaded up.
Well, see, I mean, to me, that's where I would do also is that I wouldn't load it up. I would put like maybe 5 or 6, and then let's say maybe about a month or two down the road, take those fonts out and put a new set of fonts in.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, to characterize each saber that you have, would you or would you not agree that kind of like less is more sometimes?
Well, when you have a big enough collection to where you can do that, then yes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you put all the graphics fonts on the graphics.
Yeah.
And if you have a New Hope, Emperor Strikes Back, and episode 7, 8, 9, then it's fine. Do it.
Yeah.
But like, I went to a convention 2 weeks ago. I brought my Darksaber, which had a ton of fonts. Like only one was mine.
Mhm.
And I had the time of my life. I was like turning on, like it was a gift that a person gave me,
Mhm.
and I loved it. I understood why people go into like make these blade styles and complex stuff, because on a convention when you're just crowded with people that are dressed like everything, the more is better. So I would turn it and
Yeah.
it was like rainy. And I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool. And I was enjoying myself, even though it wasn't any of my fun. So yeah, and it was a Darksaber. So, and one would turn like it was like rainbow, and it had like these synth sounds and shit. I could have put my fonts with like original trilogy, and I wouldn't have had that much fun. So it's whatever you want to do, honestly. Like for example,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
I would see people playing with my fonts, and they would just like spin around their sabers, and I would just like go get diarrhea out of it. It's like, no, like in the original trilogy, my smooth swings are meant to go from left to right. I would just spin it until at some point I was playing with my girl, and she was just spinning it as well. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to make my smooth swings to work based on spinning. So yeah, I said it, whatever people want to do. If they want to spin around. So yeah.
Now I enjoy all aspects of it. Now I don't like this. I very rarely spin anything. I mean, it's cool for for a short period of time, but
I could do this.
Really,
and I could do that, and that's
there. You go. That's pretty much me, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty much me, man. But I enjoy all aspects of the fonts, man. Where you just back and forth, up and down, and then do a very short spin, and then that's it, dude. Because I love to. Sometimes I get beside myself, and I'm sitting here in the garage, right? And I've got Star Wars up here, on the TV above me.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're starting to ignite their sabers, I'm all like, I ignite mine, dude. And I start swinging with mine around when they're swinging theirs.
Yeah, reliving it.
So I'm like, yeah, dude.
That was a cool thing with Profi, because adding music tracks and then being able to, instead of doing music tracks, like recreate specific scenes without the lightsaber sounds in them, so that way you could relive those scenes. Those were super cool whenever you could do those. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the quotes too. Some of the quotes is really, really cool.
Yeah, fuck quotes, dude. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Right? Are we gonna agree? That's the worst part of making fonts, is the quote.
Oh,
hey Carter,
wow.
thank you. I pay somebody else to do it for me.
What?
I pay somebody else to do quotes for me.
Really?
Yeah, Blue Mamba.
Oh.
I get the episodes, I get it ready, I get the file for him to cut everything up, and I send it to him, and he cuts it all up, puts it in folders for me, sends it back, and then I run it through RX, and then boom.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yep.
Wow.
It saves me a lot of time. That's why I'm able to put out, when I did all those Ahsoka fonts at once. So
Yeah,
I only had to do the saber sounds. I didn't have to do any of the quotes or anything. Yeah.
No, what I used to do, for example, with I don't know, you cannot see it, but with Ahsoka is that on my iPhone, I would just watch the episode and just
my god,
the list.
Yeah, so
damn.
Every like
okay, so that's that's cool.
Skull power up, quote skull, Ezra, quote skull, and whatever, and then just go back because and then just clean them.
I kind of just do that once I get the episode, and then I'll go through and I'll just watch it scene by scene, kind of, and then cut the parts I want, and then I save it. I save all those clips in a folder specific for that character or whatever, and then when it's time for me, once the whole show's done, and then I have all those files already clipped, then I go into that, and then then I make the font with all those.
Wow.
Yeah, you think
so kind of like how you do it, but instead of writing it down, I just when the episode comes out, I'm assuming that's when it comes out. That's the first thing we do is get that newest episode and start taking shit from it. So
to me, it's better to write it down because, for example, the Morgan Elsbeth font, which turned out to be Telsin.
Yeah,
I didn't know until the last episode that there was going to be a Telsin.
Oh, nobody did. Yeah,
exactly. So. But I already if I have the discipline of write down every key quote, even though if it's not Ahsoka.
To go back and get Morgan stuff, right? Yeah.
So it's easier because I already have it, so I just have to grab that segment and just clean it out and whatever. So yeah. That otherwise it's just watch it again and waste time and shit.
It's not hard, Carter. It just takes a long time.
No. I think quotes are easy. It's the hardest part for me is if I do new character fonts that are non-canon, I have to record my own voice and do my own voice lines. That I hate hearing the sound of my own voice.
AI.
Yep, I was gonna say, dude, get AI, bro.
AI is your friend.
I can use AI for the boot and the font.wave sounds, but
all of Carter's, he's doing comic book fonts now, and he's redoing the comic book lines with AI.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I found it depends on what AI tool, but a lot of them don't capture the feeling, if you're trying to grunt and
Bro, there's
so many.
You got keep looking because there are.
Just
this shit's crazy.
Right on TikTok, AI voice, change your AI voice generator, and you'll
Keenan. What if you guys want to talk about? You gotta get Keenan on one time and talk to him about AI, dude. He's got a program with all these characters. Dude, he's got Darth Vader, he's got Mando, he's got Count Dooku, he's got Maul. Everybody's voice, perfect. It sounds like Emperor. It sounds like movie quality. I swear to God, dude.
Well, I do. I plan on getting them.
It's insane how good he's got these. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I definitely got to get him on.
He'll just send voice chats. But instead of his voice, it's like Darth Vader's voice or something. It's hilarious. His Darth Vader AI. To get his Darth Vader AI, he actually got James Earl Jones interviews, took his voice, and then recreated the Darth Vader filter, put it over that, and then
Oh wow. Yeah, dude, that is cool.
There's Frank Sinatra covers with Darth Vader's voice on TikTok, which is insane.
Yeah.
That is awesomely insane though, dude.
Yeah, dude. AI, bro. Shit's
AI.
crazy.
What's Jesse? So I know you're friends with Keenan. What's he been up to lately? I noticed he's
working on the Ahsoka fonts. He's doing them right. He's almost done with them. Yeah, he's chilling. He's here. He's just he's not as active, I guess, but
he's around.
Yeah,
no,
he's putting out his Ahsoka fonts.
I'm hoping he'll agree to come on to the show when I do the next part of Knights of the Font Table, man. Because I would really.
If you ask him, I'm sure he would.
Knights of the Font Table. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when I was talking to BK about tonight's show and stuff, it was like I want to make sure that start off with some really good things to talk about and everything, but it seems to me that a lot of the font makers are almost like knights of the round table, man, because you have a quest to give us some great shit, and it's like it's a never-ending quest. It's kind of like hitting that holy grail, and it's right within your grasp, but it's not. It just slips through. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But you continue the quest, and that's what I love about it, dude.
We try.
And that's
we
all
try
you
really
can know.
hard.
Yeah.
You try, but you are doing. You're not trying. You are doing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because you wouldn't be putting stuff out there if you were actually trying. You getting stuff out there, so you're doing Yoda due justice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope a lot of customers are getting the cheaper options, which are Xenopixels and Golden Harvest.
They are
which
getting
are-
better though.
Yeah, they are
Because when
getting
Xeno
better.
2, when it was Xeno 2 and there's no accent swings and people are, and sometimes a lot of our phones, at least mine, rely on the accent swings.
Yeah.
And when they don't get them, it's like,
I wouldn't even support
get a
it.
better
It
board, dude.
It came to a point where I had to integrate accent swings into the smooth swings.
Yeah.
So that but it was like a mixed bag of like you could never get the customers happy, because a person with profit would say, hey, how come there's accent swings on my smooth swing when I slowly move my saber?
Oh yeah.
And so it's hard. So I hope there comes to a point where SNB4, Xenopixel, and Golden Harvest.
Xenopixel now, Xeno 3 has everything that Profi has. So
Wow.
sound-wise.
Which one? The Xenopixel 3?
Close, but not quite.
What is it missing?
Dude, like all the if you look at the most recent things for OS, what are they? OS 7 with the all font capability.
Okay, that's sure, but that's a niche part of Profi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not for everybody.
But it's not really fully customizable in a sense where, like, if you go to Fett's site and you load up one of his like blade styles into like the blade editor, and you could actually manipulate it into like all these wacky ignition. I mean, you really can't do that with Xeno 3 yet.
True, yeah. I was saying sound wise.
Oh
yeah. As long as they have in
like it has accent swings,
in-lock, action swings. That's the thing that should be obligatory.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the experience is just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you try a font and doesn't have accent swings or end locks,
it hits different. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the next step.
Me putting it no in Xenopixel.
Me putting the no in Xeno. But I mean, it's the economy.
You know what? It's a lot of our customers are Xeno.
Yeah, it's the economy. It's they are going to get whatever.
Have you seen the shift go from like CFX to Profi to Xeno? Or what has the shift been from in terms of the tiers?
It's hard to say for me because all my stuff's together. So I don't get like individual sales for each board, but seeing people on YouTube or TikTok and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like 90% of people have Xeno, or at least even if they have Profi, it's going to be LGT or TXQ hilts. You know what I mean? So
no, people are going to get whatever they want. I mean, this fight between CFX and Profi, it's just like it's Xbox and PlayStation.
I don't see it as a fight anymore. Nobody's really fighting anymore with it.
No, not at some point. Like sometimes on Discord, like a person that's new that it will come and just
and they'll
begin a little bit
up.
of arguments, but not fight. I mean, it has come to a point in which all fonts can do pretty much like what it needs to do. Profi does go like over.
Profi will always be ahead because it's open source, but
exactly
right.
But it's like at the same time, it's like, what more do we really need? Like all this extra stuff. Yeah, Fernando, great dude. He's going the extra mile. But I feel like we're already at a point where like it's good. You know what I mean? Like
Like for instance, there's like how much is too much. I was talking the other day with Brian or Fernando, and he was saying, "Well, where's your begin drag?" And I'm like,
I have begin
"What?"
drag.
Yeah, but it's like there's going to come a point where I'm going to need begin clash. I mean, I can just
Begin clash, end clash.
yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
no. When I remember when he first came out with the swing, like like hard swing and soft swing, and then you label your accent swings in order, and I was like, no, dude, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it a cool feature? Absolutely. It's and same with Clash and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like when you're doing canon fonts,
yeah,
nobody's like, yeah, I mean, they're going at it. And sometimes it's hard enough to get 16 clashes or 16 swings, let alone you want me to get some that are, small and some that are heavy. So
yeah,
cool feature, and it's cool that I could do it.
What I said to them is, as long as it's tools for the creator, for the artist, fine. If it's obligatory and the board won't work or it would crash because I did not the begin fart, I'm not going to get into that game. Like, okay, the soft and hard, I've used it, for example, in Luke Skywalker's Graphics 5.
Okay.
Where I use the soft ones at the beginning of the fight, you have the and then the hard ones, it's on the when he's about to fall, Luke Skywalker, which you have like stronger clashes. That distinction I can understand, but for all fonts,
for everything, you want me to go back and all 100 plus of my fonts and which, I mean, like, no, dude, I'm sorry. And especially because it's only a Profi thing, not on everything else. Like, it's really not worth the time.
Yeah.
Dude, it took me so long to get Verso. Like when he first added files to Verso, like adding accent swings and stuff like that to Verso. It took me so long to finally support that. Not that I didn't support it, but like to go back and get all my, and update fonts. Anytime like a new sound comes out for a new board or whatever, like.
And you have to take into consideration that even if Profi wants like 50 different sounds, nowadays, even from Clone Wars, they have like three blaster sounds.
That they reuse over and over, especially in Ahsoka.
And like
the clashes
10 sets of clashes. Which come from Clone Wars. So I don't like. If you get even Ben Burt on episode 5, like he was in the fucking game.
Dude, in A New Hope, you hear the same swing like 30 times.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
but like on Empire Strikes Back, he was killing it. He was like doing special weird differences between clashes,
adding to the catalog.
But then on the prequels, it was just like stock.
All right, let's make everybody the same.
Yeah, maybe they got bored. I don't know. Maybe
now, have you ever thought to yourself, like, I don't want to do 16 swings and this many clashes, and you want to kind of like bring it down to like, let's say 5 or 6.
It's 7, yeah.
Only if I have to.
Yeah, if it's all about accuracy. I mean, I could repeat like 7 swings. Like I could make a set of 20, and one could be repeated like every 3, because that's the one on the scene that you get the most. Sometimes.
So you want it to repeat more.
You wanted to hear it more.
My Obi-Wan series font is kind of like that, because they went back and gave him like that OT sound, and you hear like the repetition of the same swing a couple times.
They did. There's like a long swing. So you have to add it, that one maybe 3 times, 4 times, because you want to hear it more. So it's like my satisfaction is to turn on the saber and I play it on my TV, and if I can manage to get my saber to react and render the same sounds as the one that I'm hearing right now, that's when I say that it's finished.
Yeah.
That's when I know the font is finished.
Yeah. No, yep. They love like especially in Visions. So
Now
much
they love using. Oh, the other day I re-extracted the Ronin power on. It has Ahsoka.
It has Ahsoka in
power
the
on
back.
under it.
Yep. In the rears.
Freaking weirdos.
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Just straight up clean Ahsoka in the rears, right? Are you talking about the 5-1? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that.
Yeah. His
yeah.
slow one,
It has Ahsoka.
Has Ahsoka in it. Yeah.
You know, I've heard some interesting sounds. I don't know if you guys have watched that. Well, I'm pretty sure you have, but that 47 Ronins with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty interesting sounds on there. I was like, man, that might be not too bad for a sound.
Samurai. I would love to make a series of samurai sword fights, like maybe like from video games or whatever. I've done a couple ones, but yeah, I want to make like 5 more. I really like the sound of just steel. Platinum. I really enjoyed the new Talsim font because of that. Because it had like steel sounds.
Now I'm trying to find some information on John from Jedi FX because he's got that Highlander Celtic font on there, and Benji did a video on that one too, and that Celtic font that he did, man, was pretty wicked. And then he's got the gray, I think it was called, or he did another one. There was 2 or 3 of them that I absolutely loved from his stuff, Jedi FX. And I'm trying to get a hold of John and ask him some questions because eventually I want to get him on here as well for his show and see what went through his mind. The Celtic Jedi is the Highlander sound font, right? That I'm talking about. And it was an ode to the Highlander movie, and he kind of used very reverberated type stuff. It was really interesting to hear, and I've got that on my friend's memory saber as well. Along with the Thundar. So I think those 2 bring out my friend's saber like really cool, man, because those 2 together just growing up in the 80s, right? You growing up in the 80s.
That's what I was like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was born 75. I was born 75, man. And, just coming into all of that stuff when I was young and then hearing that on the saber, it's like, dude, man, it just takes me back. I even downloaded the whole Thundar series, man. I've got all kinds of shit from the 80s, But and there's some unique sounds, and especially like from Novastar too, right? Matthew really did some really interesting stuff. There was one that I'd have to go back and look, but I think he did some kind of crystalline type sound font that was really unique. I
haven't heard from him in a long time. I think it was he hit me up like 3 years ago, or maybe almost 4, and it was like around when I was like starting making fonts, and he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, can you update all of my fonts to have smooth swing?" And I was like, "How many do you have?" And it was like hundreds, and I was like, "Dude, what?" Like, that's that would be a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it'd be a lot of work.
If I tell you, if I knew how to do this, I probably would try, But
I think I did like 2 for him.
Unique stuff. He's got some very unique stuff. But he's actually busy right now.
He was doing his own book or something, or no, board game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, he's doing a book. He's doing a book series.
Yeah,
yeah,
novel.
He's doing a book series. It's called Diamond Dragons right now. And but he's also doing a screenplay for it. He's doing a screenplay. He's doing the book. He's got some other projects, and on top of his family life and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's so busy with the
Yeah.
book right now. I think he's on his he's fixing to release the third book already, man.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
And I think he's either got 4 or 6 books. I can't remember, but I still keep up
Has
with
he
him.
released them? Because I heard he hasn't. He hadn't, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, no, he has.
Oh
I've
wow.
got his first. I've got his first book. I'm hoping this Christmas I can get the second book and possibly the third. I think his third book is going to come out probably after Christmas, I think. Um, but yeah, man, he's busy doing all of those things. I briefly get to text him every now and then. So he's like in and out, in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if anybody's interested in his book, it's called Diamond Dragons, and they can go look on the website there for him. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting book, man. So if you like dragons, dude, and you like a good story, I think it's pretty interesting to check out.
Somebody asked here if we see stereo fonts in the horizon.
Please no.
What for? Like my question
Well,
is
like-
what for?
Yeah. There's one speaker in the Saber.
Yeah, and the speaker is like this small. Like so.
Unless it was Bluetooth. Yeah, I mean if they did wireless, then it's like, yeah. But then it's like then you could just take why don't they just add a panning feature? So then when you put your Saber over here, it's panned over there. You know what I mean? But to have an actual
Yeah.
stereo sound, there's really not that much.
I think in
That's-
terms of format, we are already there. I mean, monophonic was a pain, and it was extremely just.
I can imagine.
It
Like-
was just a fucking pain. Like the one, like my proudest font is ESB Legends
Mhm.
because it was It was the time at the times it was monophonic font. So
Yeah.
what I wanted to do was begin with Darth Vader's hum, like the high pitch
Oh,
hum
yeah, I see what you're saying.
from this scene back there,
Mhm.
and then go back to the low idle hum when
But then once you hit it once, it restarts.
No, what I did in monophonic was every clash and every swing would have 2 minutes of hum.
Oh. Okay.
And then at the end of the 2 minutes, nobody stops clashing like clashing. Like every time you would clash, you would
Yeah.
reset to
Yeah.
0.0 of that hum.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the 2 minutes, I would just slightly blend into the high pitch hum
Yeah.
and then go to the main one. So you would have to come up with all those kind of fucking bullshit. But for instance, you couldn't do that with blasters
Yeah.
because blasters would go straight to the main hum. So I would have to go to Earth and say, "Hey, can you just please make fucking polyphonic
Yeah.
and everything?" And he would say, "No, it's not."
Yeah, that's probably the best thing they could have done.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Like fun making just went from extremely hard to pretty decent. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard.
Workable.
Fun making is
Workable.
hard. It's
So you've enjoyed the process of the evolution of font making in
Yeah.
terms of
I'm sure it's way easier now than what it used to be. Absolutely.
yeah.
mhm.
And it's going to keep getting easier.
Yeah, no, it was extremely hard, and the software was just buggy as hell, and you would get all these clicks at the end because on monophonic you would have to, for every clash, you would have to also have the tail end,
Mhm. Yep.
which connected to the
To
beginning
the
of
beginning
the hum.
of the hum. Yep.
If you had a single click, if it didn't blend correctly,
Yeah.
it would just be a pain, and it would be just random. Once I made a font with Novastar. It was a collaboration for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon font.
Yeah, I like that one. That was pretty good.
It was horrible, but
Well,
because-
I tell you why, because I, as a person who enjoys martial arts, right? I love to watch the martial arts movies. I enjoy doing some martial arts. I guess that's the reason why it catered to me as liking it, right?
But it was like it had music in the background. We didn't have any isolation sound software or whatever, and that was the problem. Like we bumped into a major clicks in the tail ends.
Yeah.
I would ask Novastar, why this keeps happening? I don't understand. I have to like just cut the tail like milliseconds and milliseconds, and he said, I have no clue. It's just you can spend 2 hours
Trying to
just
get a the loop.
Yeah. On polyphonic, you don't care.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So it's way easier. You mentioned it's going to become easier in the future, but why?
Well, I mean, we're just. I feel like we're just going to keep getting better and better software.
Well, that's
and
true.
then more and more sounds are just going to keep coming out. You know, so like we're just everything's been growing, and it's.
Yeah.
Do you think that eventually there's going to be a point where everything just kind of abruptly stops because you have exactly what everybody needs or wants, so to speak? And then,
I don't think so, because there's always new people coming into the hobby. So like as soon as, say somebody gets all my stuff and then they don't need to buy anymore, well, somebody else is coming in that has nothing. So it's there's always going to be new people finding the hobby.
Right. That's a given, yeah.
It might slow down when there's like no shows coming out or anything, but then it makes up for it for when something new comes out, and then we all get blasted with work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a roller coaster ride eventually again.
Yeah, Ahsoka definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And Survivor definitely was.
Yeah.
And probably the next. I'm sure when Acolyte comes out, or
Oh something. Man, I tell you, the Lost Acolyte hilt, man, I can't wait to try and see if I can get one for Christmas, dude. And I already know that
I saw one in person. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The KR one. I know there's a couple different companies doing it.
Oh yeah, no, the KR one is the one that I want. So
yeah, it's nice.
That's what I said earlier. Someone should make a fun making software suit.
It's already out there, dude. Go download any.
It's Audacity.
Any audio program.
Yeah, it's all about the.
No, it's not Audacity. Don't listen to him.
It's free. It's free.
No, dude. No.
I'm gonna try Logic Pro just to check how like.
Do you have Apple computer?
Yeah,
a Mac?
yeah. I only work on Macs.
Yeah. I mean, even GarageBand, I feel like, but would be pretty good. But yeah, Logic's dope. I love Logic. But at the same time, it's just the space that you're working in, But all the built-in plugins are very nice, and then I use a lot of third-party plugins and shit too. So, Can you add? I mean, yeah, you say you use RX. Can you add third-party plugins into
Audacity? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's it. That's the same. I have all the the Apple plugins and the RX plugins there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's.
So yeah, I mean. It's just when you look at it, you're like, oh my god, this is like Windows 95. Like,
it's all about the keyboard configuration. I mean, it's just like it's Command E, Command T, Command Y, Command U. It's all about the automatization.
Yeah,
which that's the thing for me. And like to answer your question, it's more about like fun making. It's more about research and studying.
And sourcing
the source and know how, like at some point you will have to know, this source I can extract the middle track in which there's going to be no music and no voice. And
hopefully there's no music. Sometimes there is. Most of the times there still is.
Or sometimes you're just
animated stuff like Clone Wars and Rebels. I noticed if it's made for TV, it's usually a lot cleaner. If it's made for movies, they pump a lot of stuff in the center track.
Yeah, Clone Wars is pretty clean. Or sometimes you will have to rely on YouTube and just like know how to extract an original clip from YouTube and take it into your software and just know how to treat it. Know how to make smooth swings, which is just a pain, and it's never the same. It's like you're never going to get into the same workflow, not even on hums, because sometimes
you're always adjusting. Yeah,
you have to loop the hum, but what if there's just 2 seconds of hum and the ramp up and down is too similar? So you cannot just multiply the hum and just blend all those little clips because your loop is just going to be.
It'll sound too. Yeah.
You have to
So
be
you
creative.
ever get frustrated with one of the fonts that you're working on when you're working on something? You get so frustrated that you absolutely have just to walk away for a little bit.
No, I mean I'm a writer. I'm a screenwriter and screenplays and shit. You get writer's block out of writing because that's fucking hard. You don't like some fonts. It's just fun. It's not. You don't get fun.
Well, and we're lucky enough to where, at least for like Canon stuff, it's already out there and done.
Yeah.
We just have to
extract it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The trick is not to become the enemy of the format. I mean, you have to understand that it's going to be a font which is going to be played on a saber.
Yeah.
And that has restrictions, and that gives you liberties. The smooth swing, when like you can be very picky when you are watching the sound on the timeline and it sounds weird, but when you play it on a saber, you have to just swing it and shit, and you'll realize it that you can get away with a lot of
a lot of stuff gets covered up.
Demoing it's harder than making.
Well, yeah. So you don't have an audio jack for your saber. Do you?
No, I have a Sennheiser. I have a Sennheiser. I use two mics, one here and one here, and like I spend an hour just fucking like recording the clip because I have to have the saber in a position in which there's not a lot of noise, and if my daughter screams, I just have to.
Yeah, dude, it's easier just to plug it in, call it a day.
I know. It's just I'm not sure.
No, dude, there's nothing you could say that I'll get.
No. It's like having it like have the clean sound from it. It's way better. It's
Get one day and you'll be like, damn, this is.
I used to have one just for testing.
Yeah,
and it fried on me.
Okay.
So yeah, and I didn't try it. It was a CFX. I think it was.
CFX is weird. I have a CFX, and I can't. What you have to do, because Keenan uses CFX for his demos, and he's got the jack. What we did was, no matter what, even if you put the CFX on volume 10, like super low, it'll still distort. So then I was like, all right, Keenan, I got an idea. Once you finish your font, you throw all the audio files in a new project and manually turn them down, so that way they're not negative 0.1. Make them all like negative 12. Make them peak at negative 12. It won't clip. So then you're making a special font just for that saber that's just quieter, and then it won't clip that way. It'll be clean, because the output of the CFX I think is a little dirty compared to Profi. Because Profi I don't have to do that. Profi my volume's at 1,000. I run a DI box and it's clean.
Some of the things that I've run across on some fonts, man, and I don't know if it has to do with the board, the speaker itself, or maybe the font itself, but when I first got my my memory saber together and I started putting some of the fonts on there, right? I noticed that some of the fonts were louder and the other fonts were a little bit lower in terms of loudness, right?
Yeah.
Now, some of the swings came out higher pitched, and other fonts, they came out at lower pitched.
Okay, so that's your sample rate. So that means whatever saber, somebody had a font that was like, 12, was it 12,000? Instead of what we do ours at 24.
Yeah, it's 48, 44, 050, so it's 25. 2250. It was
2250. So he's saying that he probably had a font that had 2250, and it lowered the pitch because it probably adjusted it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's definitely what that is. That was just that's a sound file not exported correctly. For if you're getting weird pitch, It's the sample rate.
Oh, so
Yeah, that used to
that's
happen
what
on ultrasound and the early versions of
Because
Crystal Focus.
there's some boards that'll just play it no matter what. Like it'll play.
Yeah. Yeah, Crystal Focus I think can play 2250 because it came from 2250, but
Right.
it was a disaster because like you said, it would just be high pitched everything, even the sounds.
Yeah.
You had a quote of Obi-Wan saying, "These aren't the droids you're looking for."
He would sound like the droid.
Yeah, it would sound like he was like he had like a helium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, because I noticed, because I only use CFX right now. I haven't used any other board but CFX at the time being, right? And like I was saying, like because I was when I would swing certain fonts, I noticed that, like I was saying, it got louder, so to speak, and then going through the other fonts, the next font below it would be much less
maybe
loud.
Also the font maker could have just mixed the sounds differently.
Yeah.
I mean, if you add it happened.
That's like listening to music. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to me once where I wanted to add more, like leave more bass.
Mm-hmm.
Really bass on CFX. CFX doesn't render bass as Profi. I think Profi deals with bass much better because
Profi definitely doesn't distort as much as CFX.
Yeah.
But it's very minimal. But I have noticed that, yeah.
But the problem is on CFX, if you leave bass, that disappears on CFX. So it's sound that doesn't get, like, it's volume that doesn't get registered. So everything just goes like down. And I asked Herb on last year's celebration
for high pass filter.
He told me there's a limiter on CFX.
Okay, yeah, which is good. I mean,
yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good because you're
Profi actually has a high pass filter now that you could set, which is kind of cool.
Whoa.
I mean, I wouldn't use it because fuck that.
No, me neither. Because
but
you can rely. There's a mix down, like mixed options on Profi. I wouldn't rely on those. I rather just give you the mix, which I think it's the proper one.
The best, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if they want to, set their high pass at 200 hertz, then go for it. You can do it, but.
Yeah, so sometimes I mean the font maker can just set their levels lower.
Yeah,
they
might not mix as hot.
Or maybe they go up to like over the 0 decibels. I've had
but even if you go over 0 decibels, it'll still be 0 when you export it.
Right.
It'll just be clipped,
But some for example, Novastar didn't want to go over 6, so it was
like 0 like negative 0.6 or like.
Do you know what
6 dB?
6 dB.
Wow, that's
so
flat.
The clashes were 6 and the hum was 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
My hums are usually around negative 12, like peak. Sometimes they go up to negative 7, but it depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
all my clashes and stuff are negative 0.1.
Yeah,
like
almost close to feeling the
not 0, but right under 0.
Yeah.
So have y'all blown speakers, after plugging in and just like getting it?
I've had to change some speakers before, yeah.
Not since like with Regals and premium speakers, like 7-8 years ago, a ton. But now, no, nothing.
No.
Thankfully, I've blown.
I love hybrid speakers, man.
I've tried 8 Crystal Focus. Don't know why. 8 Crystal Focus just got fried, and no Profi works. Yeah, but
I've had to change mine a couple times, but it's. I run it at 100%, so.
That's awesome.
The volume you set it at 1,500
on CFX.
Oh no, on Profi.
On Profi, for my demos, it's at 1,000. But if I'm like enjoying it, usually 2,000.
Oh wow, 2,000.
Yeah.
I'm at 1,500 just
50. Yeah, I mean that's fine too.
to be
If you're in a quiet room all by yourself, 1,500 is fine.
just to be safe.
And it depends on the saber too. You know how if it's
Sure.
pushing the air out. You know what I mean? Like
That is awesome. Yeah. What sound fonts do you see for yourself in the future coming up, like anytime soon, that you're really interested in doing? Nothing catches your fancy at the moment.
Well, like I said, the
I'm gonna redo a bunch of shit but yeah, I mean something new.
Yeah, this year has been exciting because of the new software and the new tools. So yeah, I think pretty much I've seen, like, at least me, I've been redoing, or at least tweaking some sounds.
Especially now that we don't have anything coming out for a while.
Yeah.
That now
Do
is
you
our
think you
time
might
to.
find one of you think you might find one of your old ones and say, dude, I forgot about this shit.
I mean, yeah, I've been going through all my old stuff and redoing them for this whole year now, besides the Ahsoka show and probably Survivor. So that's the plan. Is just try to make everything better. So
Yeah.
V2,
Any new collabs?
V2.
Any new collabs?
Not as of right now.
Not as of right now. All right. Well, gentlemen, let's go ahead and I'm gonna kill it tonight. So for those of you who are watching tonight, thank you so much, Jim, and everybody that came and participated in the chat. Much love to you guys and ladies. I sincerely appreciate it, guys. BK, Kyberphonic, and Juan.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with me tonight. It's such a pleasure, man. So much appreciated to have Knights of the Font Table here, and and I know that we'll be hanging out and doing some more sound fonts shows, and I'll be having some other people come on and do. And you guys, you know. Hit me up if you guys ever want to come on the show. You guys are more than welcome to come on anytime. Let me know. I'll send you the link when I do my shows. And it's usually the time that most of the time it's going to be this time around until I can get my schedule readjusted where I can come home earlier and possibly do the show earlier. But for the time being, most of the time it's going to be like this. But again, going back for everybody that's watched this tonight, thank you so much. And for those of you who are going to watch wherever you are in the world, thank you so much. And make sure that you like and subscribe to these guys. They work really hard on the sound fonts to bring your lightsabers to life with a soul. And they put their heart and soul in these things. So, do them due justice. Make sure you purchase their fonts and don't just be scamming to get free stuff. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Do it.
But yeah, again, much love to everybody. And like I said, make sure you like and subscribe to all these guys. They'll come out with some great stuff. I look forward to seeing some more great stuff, hearing more great fonts, more videos from you guys. Really enjoy them. And it's been such a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys want to add anything before we take off?
No, I'm good.
Everybody good?
An honor.
Cheers for the last time, guys. For tonight. All right, guys. Well, let me brand it out and we will take off. Let's see, Mundo.
In here, we pour whiskey.